Welcome to Invictus Motors. We've got this Porsche 911. This is the 2006, well, late 2006 997.1 turbo. This came in as a part exchange from a customer based in Leatherhead, Surrey, who purchased a 991.2 Turbo S. He purchased a 2017 991.2 Turbo S. The car he bought had an absolutely incredible specification, and so does what he's traded in, and he's owned this for the past 10 years. In the next section of this video, we'll talk about the mechanical condition of this 911. But in this first section, we'll simply take it out for a test drive, just kind of share my views, performance figures. And I've got Jonathan here, who's actually just test driven the predecessor, well, the proper predecessor to this 997.1 Turbo S. I wouldn't really say that the proper predecessor is the 997.2 Turbo with the PDK. I think the proper full-on successor is the 991.1 Turbo S, because that's where it becomes something totally different. There are, I would say, people out there, for whatever reason, that for no reason whatsoever, would hate on to the Tiptronic S transmission. And really, unless you've owned one of these gearboxes, or one of these 911s with these gearboxes, you should really kind of critique and opinionate. If you haven't, I think it's just a lot of fools to hate on an automatic gearbox in a 911 turbo that I think was fitted up until 2009, which, in my opinion, personally, is basically perfecting the art of automatic transmission. And that Tiptronic transmission, yes, it's a Mercedes sort of manufacturer produced design transmission, but it's been around for 30, 40 odd years, and they've perfected the art of it so well that a Turbo S 997.1 would have had a Tiptronic transmission. They're incredibly reliable because of the longevity of how many years they've been making that gearbox for, and that means that they've just improved it over and over again, every single iteration of it. Now, Porsche wouldn't put something that is substandard, something that isn't good enough, and something that is not going to give you the performance that's going to complement that incredible Mezger engine. So surely they've done their homework, they've done their research, and hence why, they've put it into this 911 turbo. And of course, you can find the same gearbox in the 996 turbo. But just to kind of give you some raw data, some raw figures, on this 911 turbo, the 997.1, the 0 to 62 miles per hour in a manual is 3.9 seconds. One with a Tiptronic transmission is 3.7 seconds. That's a whole 0.2 seconds quicker with the automatic transmission versus a manual. Now, just not going to be sort of driving this harshly in any way, form or shape, but I'm going to put it in sports mode. I've dropped it just first. What somebody's done, you can hear that beautiful growl from the Mezger engine. I'm still just trying to get this into that right gearing to get it to sound fantastic. And since I haven't got the microphone at the back, you've just got to go by what I've got to say here. The turbos were really not sort of a car in the first place that are going to growl and grunt, like the naturally aspirated engines. But on these, you can easily delete that mid-box, and I've had that on a 911, 997 turbo, and they sound absolutely fantastic. But the point I'm trying to make here is the driver focusedness, or the drivability from, let's just say, a purist point of view that you get with a 997.2 or the 991.1, the fact that their PDK and
just feels. The sound of the engine sounds fantastic. It's pretty quick through the gears. I'm used to driving Mercedes quite a lot myself. It is pretty fast on the pickup, and like you say, you couldn't change gears faster manually.
Wow.
So, having that much power and being able to deliver it through the gearbox that quick, that's pretty impressive.
Thank you. I mean, you heard the numbers anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
When I was first looking it up on Google, I was expecting sort of the low 4 second.
I expected 4.
I was like, okay, 4.2, 4.1. Not in a million years did I think.
Yeah, 3.7.
Yeah, 3.7. I didn't think that was just.
Yeah, that's quite special.
Yeah. This is in reverse. Sorry, put it in neutral. But yeah, it's impressive performance numbers, and then the torque at 620 newton meters of torque. Yes, it's a turbo, but that's an unbelievably.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's swap so you can obviously.
Let's see how it feels. That's nice when you put it in gear.
Wow.
You just feel the revs peak. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I'm ready.
I'm good to
So
go.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah. I hadn't noticed that. I think that's the beauty.
Just
of
little
it,
things.
Sometimes you get this outside perspective, outside point of view. If you feel that this is a bit too aggressive,
I wasn't expecting that.
yeah, it's in sports mode, by the way.
Okay.
So did you want to drive it in the normal mode and then the sports mode? How do you want to do it?
Let's try normal mode.
Okay, perfect. That's it. Done. Your favourite roller scope.
It's got a bit more lively than I expected. It's just beautiful. I don't like this.
And I would also love to hear a little bit of, what your point of view is in terms after you've driven it for a little while, the comparison with the 991.1 turbo as the 2015 911.
Let's see how it goes. But this feels. I think it feels a bit quieter. But it's still got that real throaty sound to it. But it doesn't feel as aggressive.
The turbo S was a bit of a monster there, isn't it?
That is a bit of a monster. Yeah, no, it's got great pickup. You can't even really feel the gearbox. It just does all the work for you.
I don't think you would think that this is a car that is now 20 years old. Just looking at the condition
In
of
terms
it.
of the build.
Yeah, this is a 20-year-old 911 now.
It's just waiting for you the whole time, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just got bags of power ready to go. Amazing.
On a separate note, I absolutely Now on the mechanical side, it's here on the ramp, and I'll go through from the beginning to the end. This is the 911 that's obviously throughout this video. You know, we've done that first section of the video, test driving the 911, and then now doing the mechanical side of it, as well as I'll do the paperwork in this segment of it. And after this part, you will see me do sort of receiving this and doing a handover of the 2017 plate Porsche 911, the 991.1 Turbo S. This is the 997.1 Turbo, and yeah, this is the video is done for the purpose of showing the mechanical condition of this 911. Ryan's already been through some of the highlight items, but I'll go through, let's just say, all the big ticket items that are absolutely fantastic on it, all not so fantastic. So that's the whole point of one of these inspection videos. Well, firstly, to begin with, the alloys are in absolutely mint condition. They're completely unmarked, and these are the 19-inch 997.1 Turbo alloys, and really, I think, you know, they speak for themselves. I think they're very elegant. The brake pads are in very good condition. So the brake discs are in very good condition, and so are the brake pads. I mean, those brake pads look absolutely brand new. Probably have had less than, you know, a couple of thousand miles, and so are the brake discs. On the inside, all the suspension components. I mean, some of these parts you could actually see this is brand new as well. But yeah, all the suspension is in absolutely top-notch condition. Nothing is damaged whatsoever. Another good thing when you've got it on the ramp is to actually look at the condition of the coolant pipes and the steering rack. The coolant pipes, they're not leaking, and the steering rack is in good condition as well. We'll go over to this side as well. Again, let me just get a nice angle right there. You could see this is a brand new suspension component right there. The PSM struts, they're not leaking, weeping. The coil springs are in good condition as well. This tire, again, almost brand new. I mean, this is the manufacture date is late 2023, and again, it's the right tire. It's the right tire for the car. It's the Michelin. And now let's go to the back of it. All the under trays is completely, you know, clean. They're not damaged, broken, anything along those lines. One of the most important things we like to inspect on these 911s is the turbos. The turbo fixings are in good condition. They still can be removed, and at some point, if they ever need be, they can be removed and redone. The turbo, as you can see, is in good condition. It's not weeping, leaking. Even on a cold start, there's no sort of blue smoke out of this at all whatsoever. This is just a very well kept condition, very, very well maintained 911 turbo. Just looking at this aesthetically, I mean, to me, the turbos look so beautiful. I think they're incredibly elegant cars. And here, the intercoolers, again, they're clean. There's no damage, no marking whatsoever on it. And this being the rest of the exhaust system, again, nothing is sort of like, yes, it's old, there's some surface level corrosion, but nothing is broken, damaged whatsoever. And the tires, again, in good new condition, both, basically all the tires. The brake pads on this, I've got less life than the front one, because the front ones are almost like brand new, and I would say this have at least about 50% life remaining. 50%, which should still give you on something like this about 10,000 miles, purely because you use the front brakes twice as much as the rear. So for 2 sets of the front brake pads and discs, you use the rear once. Ryan, why don't you take over? If there's anything I missed, my friend, fill us in.
Well, to be honest, it's had loads of new parts thrown into this car. The rear trailing arms are absolutely mint. Might be wrong on trailing arm right now. Brand new. Your drop links, both sides have both been replaced for new parts. It's a new oil cooler, brand new. Literally, this is one of the better ones we've seen.
Yeah.
One of the cleanest.
Yeah.
Underneath, untouched. it's going to be a delight to work on for anyone, whether you're doing it in a garage or doing it yourself. It's going to take,
So if you are looking for a 911 turbo, this is going to be up for sale on our site, sort of in that mid £40,000. I'll actually lower the car a little bit. It's another good place to actually inspect some of the bodywork, because when you've got it on the ramp, these being low sports cars, if there's any damage sort of around the sills, you can pick that up quite easily. But you know, a lot of it would still be sort of cosmetic damage, but it hasn't got anything like that. The only thing I would say is the stone chipping on the front bumper. Front plastic splitter is in good condition. All the lights, everything works exactly as it should. But these stone chips are unavoidable. But a good detailer could touch them up and sort of polish it to make sure that they look absolutely perfect and flush. I'll lower the car a bit more as well.
Let's replace the shocks.
The shocks are brand new.
Yeah, they've been replaced.
You could actually tell.
You can see by the shininess.
Yeah. I mean, the coil springs are new, isn't it? Because you can see that you can still see the blue marking. And I'll lower that a bit more. This is a very well maintained example. The current customer had this for 10 years. And just on the interior, just one more time, I think it's just the shape of it is incredibly elegant. It's got the steering wheel of the 997.2. This is obviously the Tiptronic turbo. Even then, on an automatic, this does 0 to 62 miles per hour in 3.7 seconds, and the manual transmission does 0 to 62 in 3.9 seconds, so it's 0.2 seconds quicker. That's it for the workshop side of the video. If you're actually watching this video separate to that big rest of the video, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to click like, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye bye. Got this lovely customer, Chris. He's bought this beautiful Porsche 911 Turbo S, and this house is absolutely stunning. Let's just find a little bit from Chris what it's all about. Chris, firstly, thank you for choosing to do business with us. What made you want to buy this 911 Turbo S?
Well, I like Porsche. I've had a 997 there for 10 years now, and I haven't retired and I want to use a car more often, so I thought I need a bit of an upgrade.
Thank you.
So that's been a lovely car. You know, she's done me proud, and I just wanted something that's going to be, well, an upgrade, effectively, more usable.
And in these 10 years, I mean, this is absolutely mint. What works has it had done mechanically? Obviously, cosmetically, it's like new.
Yeah, I mean, it's had, I think it's had various bits and pieces done to it. Obviously, I think the coolers at the front have all been replaced. I mean, it's been serviced regularly, and I always made sure that if there's anything needed doing, I had it done.
And what about things like the turbos? Have you ever had the turbo or the turbo fixings, the exhaust gaskets?
Not to my, I think exhaust gaskets were done. Not so sure about the turbos. I think they, I don't know.
So,
my memory's not that good.
Yeah, yeah.
So you know, it's
But the condition of it is absolutely fantastic.
yeah, I've kind of looked after it as best I can.
Yeah, I mean, the underneath is nice and clean, nice and tidy, no oil leaks. I mean, that day when you actually drove it over to us, we were just so impressed by the condition of it. Genuinely, we were like blown away. We've got our bags and stuff in there. And I mean, this is just been sort of garaged, I guess, most of his life. What mileage did you buy it at?
I think it was about just early 50s. Could be, you know, let's say 50ish.
Wow.
It's only done about 58 now, I think it is. So
Yeah.
so yeah, I haven't. That's really bad news, really. I should be ashamed having a lovely car like this and not using enough.
Yeah. What do you do for what did you do for work before you retired?
I was in property, really.
Yeah.
Lettings and petrol sort of stuff.
And now you've packed it in, and that's
Now I've
it.
packed it in, and now I can spend more time
Yeah.
using this.
Yeah. I guess this is not something you could take to a lot of the lettings or sales because
No, I didn't use it at all for work.
because people, do you think, can get a bit funny when they see you in a nice car? They think you're making too much money
Well,
and drop your commissions maybe?
no, I mean, I was the boss, so people went out for me. I
Yeah.
just sat in the back office,
Yeah.
doing all the paperwork and figures and stuff like that. So, and I was director of a property company, so I spent my time being a landlord more than anything else.
Okay.
I used a regular car for daytime.
Thank
so this
you.
is literally just a weekend car.
Thank you.
Now my weekends are a lot longer because I don't work.
And this was basically, this is going to be your new pride and joy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What kind of brought you to it?
Well, I saw the ad and I saw the colour of it, which I love. The spec was good. Sunroof is important for me. I like the look of the aero kit. I thought it made it look just slightly different to the average. So, yeah.
Currently at the dealership, believe it or not, I've got 20 years of 911 turbos. I've got the 996 turbo with an aero kit.
Oh, right.
They do that. And then taking this in as a PX. And then after that, I've got the 991 Turbo S. And then obviously you bought the 991.2 Turbo S. This, to me, I think it's the most beautiful 911, my opinion. I think after this, the 992s,
A little bit fat.
yeah, little bit fat. And the lines, like you see the wheel arches are very curvy. This silhouette drops down very steeply and it gives you a very curvaceous and elegant, whereas those are very smoothly outlined. And then because these Turbo S's are wider bodied, the new 992s across the whole platform, they're all the same width. There isn't, so the Carrera S, the 4S, all of their variants are basically the same dimensions.
Underneath is pretty much the same.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, this is a mega upgrade compared to that.
Yeah.
Having driven it. So,
Thank you.
that was a nice car to drive, but this is phenomenal.
Well, thank you, Chris. Thanks for doing business with us. I appreciate you doing this video.
It's all right. Thank you.
This is going to be up for sale. And yeah, if anybody's looking at buying this,
Looks after.
this is the guy that had it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks very much for your time.
Pleasure.
Now, in terms of paperwork, the first thing to do is to show you the V5 Christopher Watts from Leatherhead. He owned it since the 13th August 2015, and then subsequently, service history-wise, this was first registered. Let me actually quickly show this one. First registered on the 2nd of the 1st, 2007, and then it's had the first serviced in August 2008 at 14,000 miles, then in 2010 at 20,000 miles. These are meant to be serviced every 2 years or 20,000 miles. Then in 2012, 30,000. Then at 2014 at 45, looks like. And then 51,000 in 2015. 2017 at 53,000 miles. Critfords, they've had it for a little while. And then in 2019, so from 2017 to 2019 at 54,000 miles. Then at 54,000 miles at this specialist called Cops Automotive Limited, near the customer. Obviously, he had it since 2015, so this 2017 and 2019 service he did at Critford, but because it was a bit of a distance from him, he started to use that specialist. So that's the 2021 service, and that's the 2023 service. It is currently due a service, and then this is just some of the stuff he's done over the years. I mean, this is a 3K invoice where he's done all the tires have been replaced, and ultimately he says investigate coolant leak from center of car. On investigation found ATF oil cooler to be leaking, coolant removed and replaced oil cooler, and now okay, cooling system bled and ATF changed. And it shows all the work, including the fact on that last serviced in June 2023 it's had the spark plugs replaced. And then you've got more invoices. This is 2.5K where it's had the steering wheel upgrade as well. And then you've got in 2021 the 20K service where again it's come to a big whopping £1,700, again doing some coolant pipes and a big service. Had the tandem pump replaced, the vacuum pipe to it as well. More information here with the coolant pipes, a service done. Another invoice from Cridford coming up to about 2.8k. It's just the xenon leveler struts being replaced, and just you know, maintenance. And this is where it's had the full wheel geometry done. These are the MOT certificates, and now combined with the MOT certificates, the service book, and the V5, I think this is a fantastic car, ready to go to its new loving home. It's HPI clear. It will have a minor service, which is what's due now, not the service including spark plugs or all the filter, just the oil and filter replacement. So if you're looking for a well-sorted 911 turbo, this is it. It's a good example car. It's just parked outside and ready to be enjoyed. Thank you for watching the video, and see you next time. Bye-bye.